Now, let's read together Proverbs 30, verse 7 to 9. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain. Our text for consideration this evening, as you can see, is a prayer of a man named Agur. No? Agur. Pero kung ato yung binisay kung sa pagbasa, Agur. No? And that you will find in verse 1. Now, as you can see in verse 1, it says there, the words of Agur, the son of Yahweh, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ithiel, even unto Ithiel and Ucal. Yes. Our text, which is verses 7 to 9, as you can see, comes in a form of a prayer. And it is a prayer of a man named Agur. We don't know much about this man, except that of what we can read in verse 1. And according to verse 1, we know that he is the son of Yahweh. Of course, in English is Yahweh. But in Hebrew, the word J is pronounced as Y. Like Yehoshua. Joshua. Yehoshua. So, reading it in a Hebrew tongue, it would sound like Yahweh. No? The son of Yahweh. And then, we learn that he has a prophecy. Now, as you can see in here, looking at Proverbs 30, it isn't much of a prediction, but of a godly instruction. Prophecy comes in two forms. Foretelling. Foretelling simply means to predict or to say in advance, and to foretell. Foretell meaning to give instruction, to proclaim truth. Okay? So, as we read in verse 1, yes, the words of Agur, the son of Yahweh, even the prophecy. Meaning, this entire Proverbs 30 is a godly instruction by who? Agur. And who is Agur according to verse 1? The son of Yahweh. And what else can we learn of him? That he was speaking about this godly instruction, which verse 1 says, a prophecy. And he was speaking and talking to these two men named here called Ithiel and Ucal. As I have said, there's nothing much we can know about a man except that which is recorded in verse 1. But you know, mga kaisunan, even if we don't know much about this man, we can know and learn a lot from his short prayer. Ug mao na mas importante. Dili na kayo importante alang kanato nga ato kag yung mailan og kinsa gid siya, igo nga nasayod ta nga siya mo'y nagsuwat ini nga ampo or kini nga prayer. And we'd rather look into the prayer, for there is much for us to learn from his prayer. Yes, there's just too much or many things to learn from his prayer, which, as you can notice here, it was recorded in the book of Proverbs. And what makes it strange? Proverbs is more about practical instruction. Proverbs has never been known about prayer. You talk about Psalms, yes, there are a lot of prayer recorded in the Psalms, but not the book of Proverbs. In fact, these verses that we're considering tonight is the only only prayer recorded in the book of Proverbs. Not inusara ni siya nga prayer na imong makita in the entire book of Proverbs. All that you would find in the book of Proverbs are what? Instructions, sayings. As the title of the book would tell us, it is what? Proverbs. But, even when it may be the only prayer recorded in the book of Proverbs, looking at his prayer, you will notice how it runs contrary to many of our prayers. Ang musgon, kung atong pagkatanaw pag-ayo kining iya ang prayer dinhi, makita nato nga it runs contrary. In other words, it is something different from many of our prayers today, especially to those whose prayer is focused on material prosperity and abundance. It is one prayer worthy of our consideration. Nga naman, kay ug ato gid siyang tan-awon pag-ayo, it is something that is really unique in its own. Kaya nga naman, now, sa ako nang gingon, tan-awa o unsay unod sa kadaghanan ng mga pag-ampo karon. Lord, palambua kami. Lord, it's all about material prosperity and abundance. Apan tutok ipatayo ang iyang gipangayo. Usa sa iyang gipangayo ayak og himo ang adunahan, Lord. Yes, something for us, for all of us to learn. This is such a prayer nga makahimaya gayud sa Ginoo, because it runs contrary to many of our prayers, especially to those who pray for material prosperity and abundance, especially those who preach health and wealth gospel. In fact, in these 3 verses, you would notice here valuable lessons that we need to learn and understand about prayer. Listen carefully. One thing, realize that the manner of our prayer should honor the Lord. The manner of our prayer should honor the Lord. Ikalawa, the focus of our prayer should honor the Lord. The manner of our prayer should honor the Lord. The focus of our prayer should honor the Lord. Ikatlo, the content of our prayers should honor the Lord. Mao kana nga sa dili ba nato bukhon ang atong nabakba diha sa mga pag-ampo, unang pangutana, makahimaya ba ni sa Ginoo? Because the manner of prayer should honor the Lord. And then what? The focus of prayer, makahimaya ba ni sa Ginoo? Ikatlo, the content of your prayer, unsang lang imong gipangayo, makahimaya ba na siya sa Ginoo? And these are the lessons that we can learn from this prayer. Dugang paningana, I want us to realize that there is a need for us to remove anything in our prayer that contradicts a godly life, and also that which keep us from worshiping God and from the things that corrupts a godly life. Meaning, having established these 3 things about prayer, that our prayer and the manner of our prayer should honor the Lord, the focus of our prayers should honor the Lord, and the content of our prayers should honor the Lord, fine-tune nimo ang imuhang mga pagampo. You'll be able to smooth out your prayers kay imo naman gisiguro by asking yourself these three. Is it honoring to the Lord? The manner? What about the focus? And what about the content of my prayer? In keeping these things in place, mga kaisunan, it will help you and enable you to remove anything in your prayer that contradicts a godly life. And it will keep us from the things that would corrupt our Christian life. Na naman, kay imo naman daang gi-sort out daan ang imuhang pangayoon sa Ginoo. Nga sa dili pa nimong pangayoon, imo namang eksaminon, maghimaya ba ni Ginoo? Remember, the manner of prayer, the focus of prayer, and the content of your prayer. That if you have these three things in place, mura bang ma-safeguarded na ka, nga ang imong pagkapangayoon, imo naging siguro, nga subay o yun, ug labaw sa kanan, maghimaya sa Ginoo. Are we following? Now, remember what the Lord Jesus said in the Gospels? From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And that is true in our prayer. Oftentimes, o kung sa katong kanunay natong pangayoon diha sa mga pagampo, mao kanay nagpatibabaw diha sa tuang kasing-kasing. And so, when you hear of somebody who always pray for riches and money and wealth, you should know nga alang patibabaw diya sa kasing-kasing unsa. Riches, money, and wealth. Unya kung ato itong itandi, the manner of prayer should honor the Lord, the focus of prayer should honor the Lord, the content of our prayer should honor the Lord. Karon na pangutana na, makahimaya sa Ginoo na nga pagkampo. Nakuha natin mga kaibigan. That is why I say that these verses that we are going to consider tonight surely would bring us to a different level of understanding our prayer life. Yes, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And what we often ask the Lord in prayer are the desires of our heart. And so, there is a need for us to really examine our heart. There is really a need for us to examine ourselves. Kung unsa ginakakanunay sa itong kasing-kasing, kaya kung unsa ng butana ang nakakanunay sa itong kasing-kasing, dili nato malikayan, mo ginimugbuwa sa itong bakbak. Kung dili ginaman kayan nga mao nay kanunay na itong pangayoon sa Ginoo. What we often ask the Lord in prayer are the desires of our heart. And please understand, mga kaigsunan, that while there may be some valid and God-honoring desires, but human nature would tell us that if it is our desire, most likely it is inclined to our fleshly, selfish, if not sinful, desire. And so, looking now at our text, I want us to consider what Agur here said. Look carefully in verse 7. Verse 7 we read, two things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. So obviously verse 7 mentions about two things. Kung ato mission si Binisayon, Lord, do kabutang akong pangayoon diha nimo. In fact, This prayer is actually about two things. Two things iyan di pangayo. Tanawa, lugar na kayo. Una, two things that he asked the Lord for. And what are these two things? Let's consider the first. The first is what? Remove from me the things that contradict a godly life. Because in verse 7, second half, ingon siya diya, deny me them not. Ayaw kog hikawi ni ini Ginoo. And what are these two things? Una, remove from me the things that contradict a godly life. Remember the title of the message? The prayer of a godly life. And what is it that he first asked the Lord? Remove from me anything that contradicts a godly life. And what are the two things? I mentioned two things, right? In this request, he has two requests. And in his first request, it also includes two things. Remove from me the things that contradict a godly life. And looking now at verse 8, first part, it contains two things that Agor mentioned that contradict a godly life. And what are these two? Notice here, remove far from me, number one, vanity. What's number two? Lies. Two things he asked of the Lord. The first thing he asked also include two things. And what are the two things that contradicts a godly life? Vanity and lies. Now, looking closely at these two, yes, these are the two causes. Ngayon ganito, root causes, the main causes why a godly person often stumbles. Muli siya'y pinakahinungdan kanunay nga usa ka tao nga matarong o madlukon sa Ginoo o mapukan gayon if he give in to vanity and lies. Now, atong tanaw ninyo duha. What is this vanity all about? Now, vanity, as it is mentioned here, covers a wide stretch of all vanities of life. From pride, vain conceit, arrogance, self-centeredness, to futility, worthlessness, and meaninglessness of life. In other words, lapad kayo siya gilangkuban. In fact, we talk about the vanities of life. It is all about the things that we do na dili maghimaya sa Ginoo. That falls under what? Vanity. Remember what Solomon said? Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. And what did he do? If you are familiar with Ecclesiastes, you should know. And so, in the first of the two things that this man Agor asked the Lord, remove from me things that contradict a godly life, he summed it into two things. And what are these two things? Vanity. Ikalawa is lies. If vanity covers the wide stretch of all the things that we do that is not honoring and glorifying to the Lord, lies also cover a wide range of what? Una, deceit. Ikalawa, falsehood. Ikatulo, dishonesty. Bearing false witness. Misrepresentation. Twisting stories. It falls under the one word, lies. Vanity and lie. You know, mga kaigsunan, if you really desire to live a godly life, these are the two things that you must actively remove from yourself. But obviously, Agur here acknowledged that human as he is not able to deal with it on his own, that he asked the Lord, remove from me anything that contradicts the godly life. And what is these two things that contradict a godly life? Remove far from me vanity and lies. Gani, as we speak about these two, talking about vanities and lies, these are the root causes. The root causes. Imog yung masubay ang tanan. No? Anything that contradicts a godly life can be traced down to these two. Vanities and lies. And you know, mga kaisunan, there are two ways that vanity and lies would hinder godliness. Una, godliness is hindered by the vanity and lies of others. Vanity and lies of others. You know, much as we want to witness for the Lord, ngadto sa tuang mga higala nga di mga magtotoo, much as we wanted to reach out to our relatives, families, and friends that are unbelievers, if you are not watchful, dihay mga higayon nga imbes ikaw mo reach out ngadto nila, ikaw ma-reach out nila. Are you following? Nga imbes mingon ka nga brad, simba ka brad, ingon, unsa man ka birthday ni kuan ron? Ayun sa simba ko yung sa ta. So, kinsa na-reach out. Are you following? A godly life is being hindered by the vanities and lies of others. Mukha na nga ikaw magpantay. Now, ang ikaduha, which is even more powerful, godly life is hindered by your own vanity and lies. Kana bang di na kakinahanglan pang agnihon o danihon sa uban, kay ikaw daan na kay imuhang vanity. And that's a big problem. In fact, this is a common struggle among God's people. Nga naman, ayaw kayo inumdumi, we still have that old nature. That's why we are oftentimes exhorted, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For what is that exhortation for? It is simply because of the fact that even when positionally we have been made new in Christ Jesus, still, last week you sang, right, dear brothers? You are still what? Prone to wonder. Lord, I feel it. Yes, while it is true that the vanity and lies of others is a great hindrance to your living a godly life, but here's one more serious hindrance to your living a godly life. And what is it? Your own vanity and lies. Naangay na itong bantayan, kanunay ang atong kasing-kasing o huna-huna. Kay matagkaroon o kunya, musulod na siya sa itong huna-huna. Kunya, o dili ka magbantay, maybe one of those songs that you love to sing back in the days. Ako, mabiling kantaha, maglukso-lukso, magiday mo yan itong panahon na, wow, murang nabuhi ang imuhang karaan kapag ka ikaw, Gani ako mga kaigsunan, sa taon-taon na ko mapag kanang ingon pa na to, pag kinabuhi nga Kristohanon, unya sa mga pila kay gayon nga makalabay ko mga lugar nga ingon pa na to sa mga milabay nga katuigan, sige na to kakto ba kaniadto. Ako ninyo? Mao mo ginihin niya, saan makalili ka? Kanang iskinahan niya, saan na kay Purma ron? I'm sure hindi ako nag-iisa. I'm sure mo ko na yung musod yun ng una. Buhi pa ba ka si Kuana? Buhi. Di ba din o? Gani, dili pa lang dugay last week kay nagpa-type niya itong marriage certificate na Brother Clark. Storya si Ala mo si Mrs. Ingon din si Ala ni Mrs. Pagitaas, Belinda. Niya kanas, Belinda. Mga ginay. Now, ambot lang kung nasigutan ba lang nato ba? Unya, mo ginay siya ingon pa nato suki sa kanang mga affidavit of laws. Tigi mo ba ng mga kanang sidula o kanang notaryo ba? Nga bisan tuod o ingon pa nato formal na sila nga nanginabuhi niya. Pero mubalik sa mga panahon na to nga ano ang magiging diya sa una mga notaryo affidavit of laws o bisag wa man laws. Oo sa sila inanawan. Lord, nawa yung mga kanang affidavit of laws bisag wa na laws. Are you following? Meaning, we are all exposed to all this vanity and lies. Nga gani, pagkita na mong alam ko, nangutan na ito kong alalan, buhay pa ba ito si Linda? Siya buhay pa, high-tech na ron. High-tech na ko rin. Anyway, magpatay ko sa tagang Brother Itzel, pagkita na itong balik. Now, just would like to mention to you a few instances ba, o kung sa kareal, how we can really be exposed to vanities. Kaya naman, there are places, makita na sa kanta, there are places I remember all my life. Unya, kada mga lugar, it will bring back memories. True? Muna imong ampingan. Ano man, it can bring up the old self in you. And I am not kidding. This is very true and very real, especially people of our background. Might as well learn to pray this prayer. Remove this away from me. And what are these two things? Vanity and lies. Naman. We cannot help it. We cannot change the world. But we can change ourselves. Okay? Now, hitabo magid nga naagay punta si buhang tod karon. Di makita gid nito gyapon ang mga lugar kanang mga dalana. Nagan niyo sa ay nga magtanaw ta sa tawo murag kailam ni nako nya murag kailam ko ani. Inoon bitaw. Wala yan siya nagkakalan. Now, that is what this prayer is all about. Okay? Two things that hinder our godly life, vanity and lies. And I am trying to expound this on you, harang na matumbok yun ninyo diya sa inyong kagalingon, nga sa mga ako ni nakita, na inyo kong malantawan o inyong mabantayan ang inyong kagalingon, gumikan aning duha. Vanity and lies. Nga naman, kay mahuk na gani kas vanity, sunod na ng lie. Imo man tabunan. Diin man ka, usahay si Mrs. Butang na to, asa kagikan? Imo nang tabunan. Because you have gone back to your vanity. And so, in order to protect your vanity, you have to what? I hope nakuha ninyo. Remove this too. Because these are the hindrances to living a godly life. And that explains that Agur here asked the Lord, and the very first thing that he asked the Lord is to what? remove from me vanity and lie. Kay siguro gyud kang mapukan diha ng nabita. If you fall into vanities of life, it follows you would also fall into falsehood, deceit, deception, telling lies, bearing false witness. And we need to be very careful on these things, mga kaibigan. Remember two things, right? Two things he asked. And the first thing he asked is that the Lord would remove from him anything that contradicts godly life. And what are these things that contradicts godly life? He mentions two: vanity and lie. Coming down to the second can be found next to it. And it's all about, he's asking the Lord, give me not the things that corrupt a godly life. Ganiha, remove from me anything that contradict godly life. Karon, give me not the things that corrupt a godly life. Now, paminaw ko ninyo pagkayo, I want to emphasize, ang una, nga iyang gipangayo is for God to remove something na naa niya. Ang ikaduha, ang iyang gipangayo, og ayaw ihatag ang something nga wa pa kanako. Give me not. Verse 8, second part. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Ang permiro niya gipangayo, kuhaan ni dinin ako. Ang ikaduha niya gipangayo, ngayaw ni gihatag nako. Kanang giingon niya diya, give me neither. Neither simply means none of this. Ayaw ni. And he mentions, neither, it refers to two. And what are the two? Poverty nor riches. So mo niya kung giingon niya kaganiha, nga kini nga matang sa pagkampo of a godly man is something that is contradicting many of our prayers. Kaya nga naman, daghan karon sa mga katawan sa Ginoo, ang kanunag yung pangayon sa Ginoo, dili provision, kung dili wa, bahandi. Remember, health and wealth, prosperity gospel? No, there's nothing wrong when you pray for the Lord's provision. But everything is wrong is when you keep on praying for what? Prosperity, material prosperity, and abundance in life. In fact, that is what makes this prayer really honorable to the Lord, because of the manner of his prayer, the focus of his prayer, and the content of his prayer. You know what he asked? Give me neither what? Poverty nor riches. So two things also he asked. And what are these two things? Give me not, firstly, poverty. Ikaduha, give me not riches. So unsa man gyud ipangayo? What is he trying to ask the Lord? What is he trying to ask the Lord? Contentment. Remember Paul said, godliness with contentment is great gain. He just wanted to be satisfied with what the Lord provides. This is very interesting. Ganiha, I mentioned, right, nothing wrong to ask the Lord for provision. After all, we know so well that He is our provider. But be very careful when you fall into that edge, that you're not just contented asking the Lord for provision, but you're asking for prosperity. You're asking for material abundance. Gani, kung mainomdo mo sa pag-ampo o gipangayo ni Solomon, unsay iyang gipangayo, give me wisdom. Pero gikahimuot sa Ginoo o gikalipay sa Ginoo that He would bless Solomon with riches and wealth because wa niya na pangiyuwa pero nakita sa Ginoo nga iya po nang gikinahanglan. That's the point. Remember, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so, yes, there's something here for us to really learn. He asked the Lord to give him not the things that may corrupt and will corrupt a godly life. And what are these two things? Poverty and riches. Now, karon pangutanan. Why would Agur make this request? As I have said, it runs contrary to many of our prayers today because many of God's people today would really be desperate to ask for what? Material prosperity, abundance, which is contrary to principles of the Bible. Tanawa ang iyang gipangayo, Lord, ayaw ko himuang nga kabus. Ayaw ko himuang nga adunaman. What is he trying to ask the Lord? Just make me contented with everything that you will provide. Now, unang tagadiyot, and let this thing sink in. Pause for a moment and really search your heart. Notice the two requests, right? Give me not poverty, give me not riches. So what is he trying to say? Lord, help me and make me to be contented with what you will provide for me. Gani mga kaisanan, dapat mo sa usag passage. Turn your Bibles to Philippians. Philippians chapter 4. Philippians chapter 4. And we look at verse 11 to verse 13. Usa sa rason o purpose sa pagsulat ni Apostol Pablo sa iyang sulat sa taga-Pilipos ang pagpasalamat sa gasa, sa mga panalangin, sa mga blessing nga iyang nadawat gikan sa mga kaigsunan gikan sa Pilipos. Ug tungod ni anak usa sa iyang kanang katuyuan nga nagsuwat mao ang pagpadayag sa iyang pagpasalamat ngadto kanila. Unya mao ni iyang unod no tipik sa iyang pagpasalamat ngadto kanila. Philippians chapter 4 looking at verse 11 to verse 13. Tanawan ninyo ya, ingon siya niya verse 11, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. Verse 12, I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. In other words, nahibaw ko how it is like na askawadon. Nahibaw ko how it is like kung naakos kadagaya. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed. Meaning, I know very well, ingon siya, both to be full and to be hungry. Both to abound and to suffer need. What is he trying to say? Samtang mapasalamaton siya sa panalangin nga iyang nadawat gikan sa taga-Pilipos, apan iyang yung gipabot niya. While I appreciate sa mga panalangin niyang gipadaan, but I just want to tell you na okay na gid kayo ko. Bisan og why panalangin, wala mo magkapadala ka na ko. I'm fine. Kaya nga naman, alam ka niya, I know how to be abased and how to abound. And what could be the reason behind, ingon niya na, tutukin ko yung pag-ayon ninyo, versikulo 12, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Abound mo ko sa isulti niya, okay na yun kayo akong kahintan, kay nasayad ko kung saan pa kinabuhi diha sa kawadon, o naibaw ko kung saan pa kinabuhi diha sa kadagaya. And you know mga kaigsunan, these two things, we really don't know how to live. Whether you like to admit it or not, these are the two areas in our life that we really don't know how to live. Og naatas sa kalisod, og naatas sa kagipitan, lisan ta. Maglisod ta. But look at what Paul said, I know how to be abased. Laborog sa kadagaya, labor na nga, dili ta nga, ibaw pag kinabuhi nga naman, mayagaw mo ta. Bantay mo na. Have you realized that? When Paul here said, I know how to be abased, how to abound, you should be moved in your heart to acknowledge, oh, these two things, di nyo ko kibaw. Because we really don't know how to be abased. Much more, we really don't know how to live when we abound. The point is, how to maintain a godly life in both circumstances. Naas ka ba doon? Yagaw. Naas ka nagaya? Labaw nga mayagaw. Di ba tinawan? Examine yourselves. Ano nga? Ingon siya na, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Sunod, everywhere. Ingon pa, bisan asa. And in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer. Unya, what is the secret? What is the secret behind that he is able to do all these things? Verse 13 is the answer. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. In other words, it's not about the abundance or the scarcity of life. It's not about hunger and in fullness. It's not about adversity or prosperity. It's all about Christ na naa diya sa iyahang kinabuhi. And looking at it, mga kaigsunan, you will come to see for yourself that that is the kind of life that this Agur here is asking the Lord. Give me not poverty, give me not riches. Now, karon ang pangutana, why would he make this request? Nga naman. Again, he also has two reasons. He also has two reasons. Having these two, he also has two reasons. What are the two reasons? Una, there is danger in prosperity. Where is the danger in prosperity? Verse 9. Lest I be full, meaning busog, puno, dagaya. What happens when he is full? And deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Kung dili pa tinuod mga kaigsunan, nga sa atuang kadagaya, dihagi mga panahon nga daw ato ng kalimtan ng Ginoo, kay mubati ta nga okay ra gid ta sa atong kaugalingon. That is the danger of prosperity. That is the danger of abundance. And this man here, Agur, asked the Lord, Lord, two things. Akong ipangayon niyo. Nga naman, kay siya mismo nasayod sa iyahang weakness. Nasayod siya sa iyahang mga kaluyahon. That he would rather ask the Lord, Lord, ayaw na ihatag na ako. kay masig mauni siya makapalayo nako diha nimo. Are we all following? Tanaw ang iyang gisulti diha. The danger of prosperity you will find in verse 9. Lest I be full and what? Deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Ako na gud ni. Sipag at tiyaga, dugo at pawis, sakripisyo, really? Kalimtan hinuunang Ginoo. When you ought to say, to God be the glory. You know, that's the danger of prosperity. And sad as it is, many of God's people would still want to be prosperous and would still want to be rich. Now, if the Lord would bless you, that you would prosper, praise the Lord. But it's a different story of mao na lang si Ginoo pangayoon sa Ginoo. Remember, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Nga kung imo na subayon, you're actually having a covetous heart. Greed. That's the danger of prosperity. Abundance of provision and prosperity in life is one that can lead to self-sufficiency and have that indifferent attitude towards God. Indifferent attitude meaning, sa diha pa ka sa panginahanglanon, kanunay gyud ka na as Ginoo. Pero sa diha naa na kas kadagaya ug abundansya, murag optional na lang ang Ginoo. Indifference. In other words, murag mo kibra ka gamay, murag mo action kag kabahar, ilagay action kabahar, mamugnaw yun ka. Unya, mo ni nakanindot na ginining Igor kay murag nakita giniya iyang kaugalingong tawhanon nga kaluyahon ba. O nang iya yung gibangayo daan nga Lord, ayaw na gihatag nako. Kay gihatag ninyo mo nako, mayabag yun ko. Ano, pagka-pagka pagkastorya mo na yung isulti diri. In English lagi. Mo na to. There's a peril and danger in prosperity, you know. In fact, Paul also said this. Turn your Bibles now. 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6. Look at verse 9 and 10. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9 and 10. And now, look at what Paul here said. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Batay mo na? Nga naman, di habitas kadagaya kay mausap man imong lifestyle. Without you realizing it, that you are actually what? Falling into a snare. You know what is a snare? A trap. Lit up. Yan, ganahan pa ka ba dato? Siguro bingon mo siya kasi bahala na pa ito. Sige lang, ganahan na po. Na! But they that will be rich fall into temptation. Remember, you are already prone to wander. O niya, imo ang paginang pangayon, muna na count ka imo kagaling ng lit-up. What? Awat, tanong pa kayo? But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into what? Many foolish and hurtful lusts. Kay sa imo ang kadagaya, matintal ka naman pagkunona, murag nindot siya na siyang huling hayaw da, nindot siya na siya na lifestyle da, nindot siya na siya da. Na kaniyan to, di ka kabawang manugal, karon kadagana ka kwarta, kanya ganahan siya ka, maglinaw-linaw, kas-kastino. Oh, foolish and heartful lust. Foolish. What is foolish sa Binisaya, Ben? Kabuang, binuang, nga sawa kay kwarta, igumon gid kay, uy, mahal ang bugas. O, sa diha na kwarta, giwaldas. Kung ano? Look on, verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Then, tanawa, which, while some coveted after, they have erred. In other words, they were wrong. They have erred. Nasayot sila. They have erred from what? From the faith. And what happens? And pierced themselves through with many sorrow. You know the word pierce, right? Ilahang gituhog ang ilahang kagalingon, murag sila may nagdala sa kasakit o kaguol o kasubo sa ilahang kagalingon, diha silang pagkahigugma sa kwarta. I hope yun yung sigila, Pastor, kailangan niya kung muna to. Now, alam mo ba kayo? Pause for a moment and really ask. It's not worth it, you know? It's not worth it. Nga naman, wag ko mo, kung magpadayan na kita nga magsalig siya, Ginoo, remember? Anak kong plus Ginoo. Ikaw nila iyahang aligatan pag-provide sa imong gikinahanglan. If his eyes is on the sparrow, remember? Two things. Yes, we have looked at the danger of prosperity. Ikalawa, the danger of poverty. There is danger in poverty. Nga naman, look at verse 9 now, second part. Unless I be poor, and what? And steal, and take the name of my God in vain. Now, dungga ko pa kayo mga Christian. Listen carefully. Although it should not be the case na ang imuhang rason nga makahimo kag sala o pakauwa sa ngalan sa Ginoo ang imong gawaton apan subo kay daghang mga sitwasyon ug mga kagayunan nga ang mga anak sa Ginoo taliwa sa ilahang kalisod o kabos nahulog yun sa pagbuhat o mga pagpakasala. Ug mo na i-acknowledge ni Igor, Lord, ayaw. Because if I be poor, I may fall into temptation and commit sin. Gani, he mentions one sin there. What is that? Stealing. Now listen carefully now. You may be confident to say, I'm not guilty of stealing. But stealing can come in many forms, especially in our time. Una, kanada yung madungog na ito nga scam. Ano na? The scam and the scheme. Unsay nagtukmod nila diya? Kawan-on. Subok man, although that should not be the case, but that is what we often hear nowadays. Anong imong nahimo? Anong imong nabuhat? Kawan-on. Anong imong nahimo? Nga imong nabuhat? Talisdanan. And that is what Igor is actually telling us tonight from this message. That there are dangers that we must guard ourselves from. There is danger in prosperity, there is danger in poverty. And so as we look at all these things tonight, mga kaibigan, I want us to consider two things. Where is your devotion? Ikalawa, what is your priority? Gani, ganahan mo rhyme, okay. What is your purpose in life? Because your purpose will define your priority. Diba? Kung ang imong purpose is to glorify God, so mao ginay mag-define nimo, hindi ka maghimo og mga butang nga dili makahimaya sa Ginoo kung ang imong purpose gyud ang paghimaya sa Ginoo. Pero kung katuyuan nimo sa imong kinabuhi nga madato ug madunahan ining kalibutan, then ang imong priority will never be to glorify God. Most likely, you will be using God as a means to an end, and never the end in itself. But as we reflect upon these things tonight, mga kaibigan, it will bring us back to the principle which I've mentioned a while ago. Godliness with contentment is great gain. The first thing that he asked, remove from me anything that contradicts a godly life. Okay? The second thing that he asked, give me not the things that will corrupt the godly life. So it brings us to this conclusion, as we come to the end of our study and meditation, godliness with contentment is great gain. And if there be any one of us who's been desiring to be rich, may we all desire to be rich in terms of godliness. May we desire to be rich in terms of holiness. May we desire to be rich in terms of righteousness. And looking at Agur in his prayer, that is the very purpose nga nung he asked these two things from the Lord. And so, tonight, mga kaibigan, even to those of our brothers and sisters joining us online, I want to encourage you, reflect upon these things, examine your heart, search your heart, lantaw og asan dapita, nakapabor ang imuhang kasing-kasing. Remember? Ask yourself, what is your purpose? And what is your priority? And may it be and let it be that we will have that unanimity sa tuang kasing-kasing to acknowledge that the very purpose of my existence is to glorify God and enjoy Him. For other than that, mga kaibigan, then you surely can fall into these two dangers. Danger of denying God in terms of prosperity, and danger of taking the name of the Lord in vain in terms of and so may we also learn to pray the prayer of Hagar. Take away from me riches and poverty, and remove away from me vanities and lies.